विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणि प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Welcome all of you to our daily Bhagavad Gita reading session. We are discussing chapter 1 Bhagavad Gita as it is, titled as Observing the Armies. This chapter divided into 5 sections, started with Dhritarashtra's inquiry, verse number 1. Thereafter, immediately Sanjay, in response to the question of despondent king, he is explaining various activities, what Duryodhan has done. That is verse number 1.2 to 11. There we saw the fear and diplomacy of Duryodhan, and thereafter various signs were seen that indicates Pandavas are going to win. So in that section it is up to verse number 19, and thereafter Arjuna is seeing or observing and analyzing the army. That is up to verse number 27, and immediately seeing the army, Arjuna started giving his arguments, some reasons why he is not willing to fight. Arjuna is giving 4 such reasons. One is compassion that we discussed, that is from 27 to, that is from 28 to 30. And then another argument he is giving, no enjoyment, that is from 31 to 35. Then he is giving the third argument as sinful reactions, that is from 36 to 38. And thereafter he is giving the fourth argument, that is destruction of family tradition, that is from 39 to 43. And this chapter 1 consists of 46 verses. So in last class we had discussed, we had recited in fact 37 and 38, but we have not gone to the purport. We have not spent any time in that. Okay, so let us do that today. Here you see Arjuna's thinking is fourfold. Let us try to understand. Compassion means he is thinking that why my relative will die. Nobody wants their relative to die. So that is a general compassion. Means nobody wants any other living entity to die even. Okay. What to speak of relatives. And 2 things going in his head. He's telling, oh, I understand. My brothers, my cousin brothers, they are atataina. And Manusmriti says that if a atatyaina should be killed, there is no sin. But then that is what? Artha Shastra. And Arjuna has knowledge about Dharma Shastra also. Ma hinsyat sarvabhutani. You should not bring any harm to any living entity. So, and he also knows that Yajnavalkya Smriti says that Dharma Shastra is higher than Artha Shastra. So in that argument, he's telling, oh, my relatives could be Atataina, But in general, I should have compassion to them. I should not kill them. Okay. So why they will die? Then the second thing coming to his mind that, oh, if they will die, then how will I enjoy? There is no enjoyment. Generally, whatever accomplishment we do, or whatever accomplishment or success we achieve, we share with our near and dear ones. By sharing, we kind of become happy. Uh, So Arjuna is thinking, absolutely no one will survive. Uh, Relatives are fighting in both the sides. Absolutely no one will survive. So after, if at all, if assume that yes, we will gain the victory, then that so-called happiness of winning will remain for some time, but actually we will not be able to enjoy because there is no sharing. So why should I kill? Then third thing is coming to his mind that, oh, not only that, if I kill, then we have to suffer from the sinful reaction, because killing someone, there will be reactions involved to it. So why should I be engaged in these sinful activities? And not only that, this gives rise to another thought, the fourth thought in his mind. Oh, not only I will suffer from the sinful reaction, but what legacy I will leave behind. Uh, that is the fourth argument. So there will be destruction of the complete family, and all the elders will die. If the elders will die, there will be no any followings of the traditional traditions, okay, family traditions, the purificatory process, and then the whole dynasty will be Varna Shankar, matlab polluted. Because the elders, they give guidance to the juniors. Okay? But in this war, all the elders will die, and the women will be polluted. All these consequences he is going to talk from 39 words on earth. So these four things are going in his mind. So let us see this 37, 38. Correct? Yadyapi ete, lobha apahata chetasa. Yadyapi ete, even if they means Kauravas, lobha upahata chetasa, overcome by greed. Na pasyanti, do not see. So here, see means not literal sense. It's non-literally. That means Kauravas, specifically Duryodhan, is why he is not able to see. Lobha upahata chetasa. He is blinded by greed. He is blinded by excessive greed and envy. So Arjuna is telling Duryodhan is blinded by greed. That's the reason he is not able to see. What? Kulaksaya krutam dosam. By destroying the family, this is a fault. But that fault Duryodhan is not able to see because he is blinded by greed. But I am able to see. Katham na asmavi, katham na asmavi, kulaksaya kritam dosam prapasyadvi. Prapasyadvi. Pasya means to see. Prapasya means I can absolutely see. What? Kulaksaya kritam dosam. That by destroying the family, it is a fault. Katham na asmavi. Katham na asmavi. How cannot we see this? Mitra dohe cha patakam. By killing these relatives, patakam, there is sinful reactions. Asmat papat nivartitum geyam. Gaya means we know. By knowing this, how we will not be withdrawing from this sin. Oh Janardana, this is what going in my head. So here seeing means yes, Arjuna is giving his point of view. Like we use the word see. Oh, I see your point. It's not that I can absolutely literally see. Okay, this is like non-literal sense. Okay, that means knowing, realizing. So Arjuna is telling, oh, I could see the imminent death, and then the involved sinful reactions, and why should I incur this fault after knowing even? But Krishna might ask, oh, you see, Duryodhan's and party, they are fighting. Arjuna is telling that, oh, they are blinded, but we are not blinded. We do not have greed. Uh, we are not coming here to fight because of greed. No. So these are Arjuna's point of view. Translation. O Janardana, although these men, their hearts overtaken by greed, see no fault in killing one's family or quarreling with friends, why should we, who can see the crime in destroying a family, engage in these acts of sin? Very clear. Purport. A Kshatriya is not supposed to refuse to battle or gamble when he is so invited by some rival party. Under such an obligation, Arjuna could not refuse to fight because he had been challenged by the party of Duryodhana. In this connection, Arjuna considered that the other party might be blind to the effects of such a challenge. No, you see, there is a injunction in Veda or in Vedic knowledge that a Kshatriya is not supposed to refuse when he is asked or challenged for a battle or a gambling match. A Kshatriya cannot withdraw. This is the injunction. That's the reason Yudhishthir Maharaj, being so virtuous king, when he's asked for a gambling match, he has accepted because that was the injunction of Kshatriya for Kshatriya. So here Duryodhana and party, they have challenged for the war or battle, but Arjuna is telling, oh, the other party is blinded. They are not able to see the effects of such a challenge. But we could see. Arjuna, however, could see the evil consequence and could not accept the challenge. But we could see the evil consequence. So why should we accept the challenge? Then Arjuna is telling, oh, obligation is actually binding when the effect is good. Oh, I understand. Okay, it is Kshatriya's obligation to accept the challenge and engage in war or gambling match when he is asked to do so. But then that is why? Because when a Kshatriya is challenged for a battle, that means evil. There is a possibility of win of good over evil. Okay, win of good over evil, because Kshatriya, who himself associate and identify himself as Kshatriya, means Kshatrat Rayate iti Kshatriya, who gives protection to the civilians. So generally it is good. So when Kshatriya will indulge in battle, that means actually there will be a possibility of win of good over evil. So he's telling obligation is actually binding when the effect is good. But when the effect is otherwise, how come it is a binding? Then no one can be bound. So Arjuna is telling that the consequence, the possible consequence of this battle is severe. They are not good. The effect is not good. So it's not a binding. Considering all these pros and cons, Arjuna decided not to fight. Let's go to the next verse, 1.39, where Arjuna started giving the fourth argument. What is this verse? Let us recite. As usual, I will recite and make you familiarize, and then you can recite along with me. Kulakshaye pranashyanti kula dharma sanatanaha dharme naste kulam kritsnam adharmo bhavatyuta. Please recite. Kulakshaye pranashyanti
कुलक्षे पड़सन्ति
kula dharma sanatanaha
कुलधर्मा स्नातनः
dharme naste kulam kritsnam
धर्मे नस्ते कुलं तस्थम्
adharmo bhavatyuta.
अधर्मो भयि भवत्येका
Wonderful. Kulakshaye pranashyanti
कुलक्षय पड़सन्ति
kula dharma sanatanaha
कुलधर्मः स्नातनः
dharme naste kulam kritsnam
धर्मे नस्ते कुलं कृष्णम्
adharmo bhavatyuta.
अधर्मो भी भवत्वा
Wonderful. Others also can join the party. Kulakshaye pranashyanti
कुलक्षय पड़सन्ति
kula dharma sanatanaha
कुलधर्मः स्नातनः
dharme naste kulam kritsnam
धर्म नस्ते कुलं कृष्णम्
adharmo bhavatyuta.
अधर्मो भी भविता
adharmo bhavati uta.
अधर्मो भी भवियुता
Wonderful. Synonyms. Kulakshaye, in destroying the family. Pranashyanti, become vanquished. Kula dharmaha, the family traditions. Sanatanaha, eternal. Dharme, religion. Naste, being destroyed. Kulam, family. Kritsnam, whole. Here it is not Krishnam, it's Kritsnam. That is whole, entire. Adharma, irreligion. Abhibhavati, transforms. Uta, it is said. Translation. While, with the destruction of the dynasty, the eternal family tradition is vanquished, and thus the rest of the family becomes involved in irreligion. How is it possible? How we can understand this? Kulakse pranashyanti kula dharma sanatana. Kulakse, if suppose the family destruction happens, then what will happen? Sanatana kula dharma, the eternal religion or the conduct of the family, proper conduct of the family, the eternal proper conduct of the family, pranashyanti, is destroyed, will be destroyed. Then by such destruction, dharma naste, when that dharma is destroyed, that means when that proper conduct of the family will be destroyed, then kulam, the family, krishnam adharmo abhibhavati uta, is completely filled with adharma. This is very natural. When the family is not uh, engaged in kula dharma, adharma, it will give rise to adharma. But then why, by destruction of the family, the eternal proper conduct of the family will be destroyed? Because when the family will be destroyed, that means the elders in the family will be destroyed. When the elders will be destroyed, there is no one to guide. When there is no one to guide, then the junior in the family, they will no more follow the purificatory processes, or that kula dharma. Kula dharma means what? Like one of the kula dharma example is shraddha, to give annual pindadana, to our ancestors. That is a purificatory process, and many such purificatory processes are there. In a family, you see, we all can experience that the elders are so strict in obeying or following these principles. But then, under such guidance, the younger ones, when they become old, they also become very strict in adhering to the principle. And that's how these, throughout from history, throughout in a succession, this is being followed. Like after someone dies, we have a lot of rituals. So these rituals, how we are following? Because from time immemorial, our ancestors are following, and that is being obeyed by the common people also. So this is the argument. Let us see what is written in purport. In the system of Varnasrama, in the system of the Varnasrama institution, there are many principles of religious traditions to help members of the family grow properly and attain spiritual values. The elder members are responsible for such purifying processes in the family, beginning from birth to death. But on the death of the elder members, such family traditions of purification may stop, and the remaining younger family members may develop irreligious habits and thereby lose their chance for spiritual salvation. Therefore, for no purpose should the elder members of the family be slain. What is Varnasrama? Varnasrama means in the Vedic days, the whole society was a kind of institution which was following the Varnasrama Dharma. Varna means caste or a category. Asrama means order, a spiritual order. Srama means what? Do labor. Asrama means hard labor. Hard labor for what? For spiritual salvation. Okay. And this can be done by any caste, any varna. Okay. There are 4 varnas. Chatur varnam maya srishtam. Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4. So varna, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. There are 4 varnas. That means 4 category of the people. Like who are Brahmana. Brahmana means intelligent class, who will guide the others. Then the Kshatriyas are administrative class, who will rule. based upon the guidance by Brahmanas. And then Kshatriyas will rule, give protection, all these things, so that there should be no crime, no theft, no any other misgivings. Okay. And then Vaishya, that class is meant for the business class. They will do business. They will produce the crop. They will sell various other things, food, and also the clothes, and many other things which are necessary for a living. That is Vaishya. And how Kshatriyas are earning? Kshatriyas are collecting the taxes from the Vaishya Sudras. And then they are, by these taxes, they consume something and also use some part of it for social welfare. Then how Brahmanas are leading their life? Kshatriyas are giving charity to Brahmanas. Brahmanas are given charity because they are sharing the knowledge, they are guiding the Kshatriyas. And not only Kshatriyas, the rest, Vaishya also gives charity to Brahmanas. Shudra also gives charity to Brahmanas. And Shudra is the service class. They serve all the three categories. Okay. Like Brahmanas and Kshatriyas and Vaishyas, because they do hard labor. A Brahmana is studying the Shastras, but then for some of his activity, Shudra helps him. Similarly, Kshatriyas also. Similarly to Vaishyas also. And a Vaishya, by doing business, is supposed to share and give charity. And Vaishya should employ Sudras in his business. So this is how it was a perfect division of the society. And this is not by birth, no. This is by guna and karma. Chaturvarnam maya srishtam guna karma vibhagasa. This is by one's quality or nature and activities. Suppose someone is, by his nature, he is inclined to study Vedas. And he is having such intelligence. Then he is Brahmana. And someone who is naturally inclined to fighting and he has that ability and power, and he is capable of doing that. So then he is Kshatriya. So even a son of Brahmana, if he is devoid of these qualities, he is not called Brahmana. He is called Dyuja Bandhus. So in the namesake he is Brahmana, but actually he is not Brahmana. And these are the four divisions. And ashrama is spiritual order. Spiritual order means like brahmacharya, grahastha, vanaprastha, and sannyasa. These are four kind of ashramas. These are four kind of ashramas. Brahmacharya, initially, everyone has to go through this four type of ashramas. In the initial days, it's kind of a student life. So there they are far away from the sex. They will go to the guru, ashram of a guru, and there they will learn they will acquire the knowledge. Okay, they will learn the Vedas, Upanishads, and various other Shastras. And then after that, after Brahmacharya, then they will get the eligibility of going into Grahastha ashram, because they have controlled the Brahma. They are now perfectly eligible, and they have full control over their sexual urge. Then they are allowed to get into grahastha life, and then in the grahastha life they also they get married, they beget children, and they know that the only purpose of the sex is to procreate, and give birth to a child, so that basically he is giving the opportunity to a soul for purification. And then he engaged the entire family in upgrading, or in growing their spiritual consciousness, okay, and advancing in their spiritual life. And then when age advances, he takes Vanaprastha. He renounces and go to forest. And then in Vanaprastha, he is preparing. He is preparing for renunciation. Okay. And then at last stage, when he is completely free from attachments, and he is suitable for renunciation, then he takes sannyasa. He gave up his family and then went to forest, and then fully immersed or engaged himself in spiritual cultivation, or getting the spiritual salvation. So this is how it used to be in the Vedic days. Time is up. Thank you all very much for your patientful hearing. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.